First of all, Moonton, if you're watching this, thank you so much for the content. And for anyone who may not know what I mean, I will explain in just 1 second. Something I want to talk about real quick, though, is there's an Oracle's trial going on where we have, like, the Forgotten Palace here, right? So, like, Gear Raid 3 farming. Now, there's 7 hours left, roughly, and I'm making a push, essentially, as you can see in the background, to try and get to, you know, maybe top 5 like I am right now. Ideally a little bit higher though, right? So I'm hoping like top 3 or so that I can get some of the fragments as well as some of the shards, because I think it's super important to farm for both of these. So what I wanted to ask you guys is, when tournaments like this come around, do you guys tend to kind of go throughout the week and do it, or, you know, the time that it's live, or do you dump in like 30,000 energy on the last day like I'm doing currently on my free-to-play account, by the way? I'd be very interested to hear about that, so make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below with what your answer is. But let's go ahead and hop into this. So what I was meaning about the Moonton content is, check out my summoning record, guys, right? So if we go back a couple of days here, the last time I pulled on this on Ancient Shards was when Sithra was on a rate up. Now, as you can see, I was just doing some single pulls, essentially, because right before that, I had pulled an Elder. So I had Elder, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the 9th summon after that. So less than a 10 pull later, I got Sithra. Now, lo and behold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly, I get Kane, right? So you can see on like the 10th summon since my Sithra, I went ahead and pulled a Kane as well. I went ahead and did 2 more like 10 pulls because I was just wanting to see what I could get and to see if I could get like a duplicate of Kane or Praetus, get them empowered a bit, but I didn't, unfortunately. That being said, though, I am most certainly not complaining, ladies and gentlemen. Getting that amount of legendaries in that amount of shards, and them being the rate up legendaries, is absolutely insane as well. But all that yapping aside, we're going to be looking at Kane. We're going to be diving into his kit, testing him in a lot of areas, and really just seeing if this lizard dragon-looking guy is worth your time, if he's worth your resources. And I wanted to get this content out as quick as possible, because like I mentioned, I am a free-to-play player, right? The only thing I've ever purchased in this game is the skin for Lust. So I figured my account, my gear, and my opinions would be most relevant for a lot of people, as opposed to, you know, perhaps a bit more of like the spender side of things that we see. And I want to give a shout out to Prospector as well real quick. Fantastic YouTube channel covering Watcher of Realms. Make sure to go and check him out if you haven't. But he actually helped me make up my mind on if I wanted to pull for Kane or not. He raised the point that, you know, realistically, if you're PvP, especially in the end game, you're probably going to need this guy, which we'll talk about in a little bit. He's going to enable a lot of teams a lot better, right? So, you know, shout out to Prospector, like I said. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's skills and see what makes him so special, right? So he's a normal damage type fighter. When deployed, gains 4 stacks of Shard of Deception. What does this do? Well, each stack increases his basic attributes by 10%. Each ultimate cast reduces the Shard of Deception by 1 stack. So here's what's interesting, right? Flat out base attribute increase, right? Basic attribute increase, so that's attack, HP, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, all that stuff gets increased by 10%. Now, with the 4 stacks, that's a 40% increase, which is actually stronger than the Power of Dominance, which is a 30% increase inside the game. So if you've ever beaten content and then gone back and tried to fight it again with Power of Dominance and noticed how much easier it is, that's basically what it's going to be like when you're running this guy in his, you know, without this versus when he has this, right? And then obviously his ultimate casting reducing this kind of leads to the fact that you either want to be cycling this guy a lot, or you just don't want to be casting his ultimate. One of the two, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Now, here's where it gets juicy. After 10 seconds, restore 7 cost. If the hero is in a Lord faction team, so if he's part of a team that has an active Lord for him, he restores an additional 3 cost, so for a total of 10. Afterwards, he triggers cost regen 1 time every 20 seconds. So this guy is popping 10 cost every 20 seconds for you, which is pretty crazy. So it's not tied to his ultimate. It's not tied to anything like that. He's basically, you know, Dallin, but like significantly better, right? So insane potential here. Now, in terms of his factions, he's obviously most notably part of the Supreme Arbiters, and this is huge. Why? Well, because we have heroes in here like Ingrid, Praetus, Valara, Poseidon, right? Pelagios, I forgot his name there. Valkyra, him, right? So many significant, and let's not forget Lady A, right? So cost regen for this faction is huge, and I'm kind of making the prediction right now that we're going to see this guy a ton, especially in AoE Arena, and you'll see more why when we get into his kit. But he's also a North faction. Now, in terms of like the Northerners, you don't really see Northerners at all inside PvP content. So in none of the arenas are they present, really. They just don't have the DPS options that the Supreme Arbiters have. But they have very strong heroes for PvE, right? So you can run this guy with Ysolde. You can run this guy with Rourke, who I often forget even exists. Pars or Elder as well, right? So fantastic options there. Now, in terms of the skills, let's take a look at that. So, basic attack deals 110, books up to 120% damage to 5 enemies, so a nice little AoE basic. He has a Insidious Strike on a 15-second cooldown. This would book down to a 12-second, deals 240% damage to up to 5 enemy targets ahead, and knocks them back. This is huge. And then finally, Killer Instinct, another passive. When his HP drops below 45%, gains damage reduction by 20%, and restores up to 5% HP each time dealing damage, which is pretty crazy. Of course, the other passive we see here is the increased damage in the arena by 15%. And then finally, his Reptilian Revenge ultimate. So it's very low cost, right? Insanely low cost. This is a 650 cost skill with an initial rage of 500. So this guy is going to get this out like instantly. He deals 1,000% damage to up to 10 enemy targets ahead. Now, 1,000 may not sound that crazy when you consider the fact that we have heroes like Sun Wukong, who's doing, like, what, 3,200 damage or something like that? But it's not AoE, it's single target. So this ultimate, I'm very curious to see how it performs, right? Very basic kit, Rage Regener, Pushback, pretty straightforward, right? But here's what's interesting. So one of the reasons that Valara has really popped off inside the meta, especially for the AoE arena, is obviously her pushback, right? So dealing that AoE damage, pushing them back. She also inflicts the resistance reduction and, you know, radiant erosion, so significantly better there. But we have kind of that same thing with massive AoE potential. So this is going to be something that we test, but I'm curious if we put him inside the AoE arena, we instantly pop our ultimate, then we basically wait for his rage regen, and then by the time we scroll around to the second turn, because, you know, for example, like there's going to be a Valara placed on the enemy team or something like that, right? So by the time the second round comes around, we'll then have that pushback available, which will do big damage as well, right? And then with that cost regen, we can potentially get ourselves like either an Ingrid or a Valara out incredibly quickly. So I'm very curious to see how this works, right? But fantastic looking unit so far. Let's go over the Awakenings. A1, Shard of Deception stacks +2. So that's going to give him 60% increase to base stats. Redeployment time -15 seconds. So again, you may want to deploy this guy, have his cost regen, call him back, and then keep deploying him. A2 cost -2. This is insane. This means that he's 10 cost, right? Absolutely bonkers. A3, ultimate can deal an extra 200% damage one time and inflict your magic and physical vulnerabilities on enemies. And these are 20%, so pretty big. A3 is attack plus 300. Usually we would see penetration here and then attack plus on the A2, so this guy's definitely unique. And then A5, when Killer Instinct is triggered, the hero gains a shield equal to 50% max HP for 10 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds. So basically just a lot of, survivability. Now, that being said, I would not recommend using Soul Stones on this guy, but if you can get him to be A3, I think he's going to be fantastic. Now, I just want to preface this by saying a couple of things. First of all, he's not fully booked, and second of all, I have not tested him yet. I have not played with him at all. I just maxed him out. I built him, and we're going to see together what he is capable of. In terms of the artifact, I have him in Eye of Sin. So this is a simple AoE damage increase by 20%. Killing people grants an extra 10% AoE that lasts 3 seconds, right? If you don't have Eye of Sin, another option for him is going to be Lunacy Visor, because obviously you're using him as a tank in some situations. Having the extra block could be very, very useful. Now, in terms of the gear, this is how we have him built. 15,000 attack. I just want to say this guy has absolute shit base stats, especially when it comes to attack. 3,400 attack for a fighter is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. If we look at like Kagiri, we got 6,700. Volca, 48. Numera, 51. Valkyra, 42, right? Like you can see Ardea, 79. He brings a lot more to the table, obviously, but in terms of the actual base stats, not that good. Granted, he's also getting himself the stacks, which increase that. So, you know, it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, right? But attack, we have 15,000. We have 1.3 second interval with a 321 speed, and then we have 108 and 269 on the crit rate and crit damage respectively, and then 61% rage regen. This is my Sun Wukong gear, just moved over to him. If you're curious about how it looks, this is going to be it here. So obviously a lot of min-maxing that can be done, probably a lot of min-maxing that I should do. So as a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and put this piece on him instead. I don't know how this piece came unequipped, but it is what it is, right? Another little bit of a better piece there, especially if you're just looking for attack. I do still definitely want rage regen though. I'll have to make sure to put this gear back on my Sun Wukong. I had an incident earlier where my Sun Wukong became unequipped, and I don't know how, and I don't fully know where his gear went, so I have a feeling some of it's like still just sitting around in my stash somewhere, and I may not have the right stuff on him. But there we go, a little bit more attack on him, so we got just over 15k. You know, nothing too crazy. That's his build, right? We're gonna go ahead and test this guy out. Now the first place we're gonna do that is, as always, inside the Drake's Chasm. We're going to see what this guy is capable of. So we're going to bring in Valara, right? We're going to go to the Supreme Arbiters. We're going to bring in Praetus as the Lord. We're going to bring in Kane. And then we're going to bring in maybe like a Jira as well. So just, you know, some of the options for fighters from Supreme Arbiters. She is naked, so we're just going to throw some random gear on her real quick. So obviously not going to be a really fair showcase for her whatsoever, but it should be enough of a showcase to really just kind of, you know, show you guys what's up, right? So we're going to bring in Diao Chan, we're going to bring in Pharisee, and we're going to bring in Airless. And this is going to be our team, essentially. So we're going to just place down Kane, we're going to place down Valara, and we're going to place down Jira, and just kind of let them do their things. Now, if you're curious about Jira and how she performs, I do have a video on her on my channel, actually, so make sure to go ahead and check that out. We're going to place Kane here, Jira here, and Valara here. We're going to throw on auto ultimates. We're going to place Pharisee, and then we're going to place our Airless as well. Now, he didn't get the invigoration, it doesn't look like, so that's something to consider as well. But yeah, it is what it is. The invigoration is only present on like 2 of my units. That being said, I deployed Yao Chan first, actually, so her Wings of Grace didn't even give us anything. Again, auto ultimates going off here, so we have the inspiration going out. Diao Chan is a dumbass, so she switches out of her attack mode, so we'll just go ahead and turn those off. Now, it looks like he is casting his ultimate, like, pretty frequently, right? So the rage regen is definitely working in his favor. Obviously, we have a bit of extra rage regen coming in from our Airless as well. But yeah, he's cycling through pretty quick. Very, very comparable to something like a Valara. We have decent damage coming up. We're going to hit the Praetus button. Get a little bit more damage in there. Just make sure we can actually get past this. Apply some inspiration. We're going to pop Kane. Actually, he is cycling, I think, a little bit faster than the Valara, which is kind of funny. And as you can see, okay damage, right? Like, he's at 7.2. He's, like, Valara's double his damage, right? But let's just keep in mind the fact that she has, like, a lot more pushbacks. She is specifically an AoE damage dealer. She inflicts Radiant Erosion. She's here to do big numbers, right? He's here to do acceptable numbers, while also enabling these team compositions to do crazy things, right? So with his cost regen. So we're going to go ahead and pop Jira. We're going to go until like the end of the second shield, as long as we can take down the shield and survive. And we're going to see what he's capable of doing up until then. So we're going to pop him. Again, we're just going to keep popping them as quick as possible. We'll use like a combination of ultimates and the Praetus button to take down the shield. So it is what it is. Though that being said, with how quick he's cycling, he may be back around to his shield by the time we even get there. Also, I popped the ultimate enough now that he is, without a doubt, going to have significantly weaker base stats. So that's something to consider as well. But still, you know, he's got okay damage, right? Okay damage. Jira's passed him. Valara's well over 2x his damage, right? So it kind of is what it is. But again, he brings a lot to the table. Now, it is a bit disappointing that Jira passes him because obviously she's just quick equipped. She was not built for performance. And then additionally, in the review I made of her, I was not too impressed with her damage. So that doesn't bode well. That does not bode well for what could potentially be happening here. So inside this particular team, inside the AoE DPS, it's going to be hard to find a slot for him, I think. So honestly, how most people are probably going to run him is to replace Valara, because he still has enough CC to really be able to push people back and everything like that, while also enabling you to still get out like some sort of Ingrid or Praetus or whatnot. Obviously we need Praetus here as the Lord, but like if you don't have a Diao Chan, you know, you're doing significantly less damage, so I don't think people are going to replace Diao Chan. We can go take a look at the leaderboards after this and see what people are doing as well. So we're at about 450k BP. We'll see what he's capable of doing here. Obviously, if you have him A2, he's going to be like instantly deployable as well. We're going to place him here though. His ultimate range is quite nice, right? So he gets some nice range there. We have the enemies coming in. Let's see what he can do for hits. So boom, about 50k. Definitely not really what I was expecting, but as you can see there, the place where this guy really shines is the fact that we're almost able to have Ingrid out like right away. he does not do enough damage. He does not do enough damage to take down these enemies on his own, right? That's pretty clear. So we're gonna get him down again. We're gonna wait until the enemies get a little bit closer, a little bit closer. We will pop the Praetus button right away. Actually, we'll pop his ult. So, boom. There we go. 500k. That's pretty respectable. Goddamn. I like that. I like that. So that's almost like the Valara pop, right? There's the pushback. Oh, I don't know what to think, ladies and gentlemen. So again, it is nice that we get an Ingrid out this early, but... Oh, you know what? He's... Ah, god damn it. They leak. They leak. Oh, okay. Okay. This is... We're gonna have to run this in the live in the arena and kind of see what we're working with. Because right now it is super sketch on what's happening, right? So we do have Invigoration on Ingrid, which is perfect. We didn't have the Praetus button back, though, because we did have to pop that previously, unfortunately. There we go. So what I think really hurts him, though, is, like, his pushback is AoE, but his range is strictly right in front of him, right? So, like, especially for the arena, what really sets Valara apart is that her pushbacks are truly AoE, where they essentially get, like, her ultimate range, where you can push back everything. So in teams like this, we're going to have issues, essentially, where his pushback isn't going to deal with enemies that are coming on the, like, really the top side. So that's 3 for Ingrid. And, yeah, we kind of mistimed it there. It is what it is. We'll put our Praetus down as well. There's 4. Boom. 630k. Now, we'll go ahead and pop his ultimate once again. I don't want to just sit here and spend the whole time, you know, in the defense. Yeah, we get, like, 600k there. Nothing too crazy, right? So I'm very interested to see how this will play out in arena in real time. We're definitely going to take a look. In terms of the damage done, as you can see, once Ingrid gets out on the field, once she has her toes out, she's doing a lot of damage, right? Let's take a look here, though. So for AoE, we're not really seeing Kane, not seeing Kane. I mean, like, really, these guys may just have teams set up where it's, like, you know, so incredibly hard to replace. Like a Valara, for example, because obviously long-term, Valara is going to give you significantly more use. Considering that, again, his pushback is only, like, single lane, right? Like, that's such a killer to his kit. Like, we're seeing Draylen, Valara, we're seeing Airless Valara, we're seeing Umerit. So, I mean, really, he may be a viable... well, I was just thinking about... I use Umerit in my anti-air team, but, like, I can't even replace him because he can't hit airborne units, I don't believe. So that's kind of scuffed as well. Let's see. We're gonna test that real quick. I think that's the case where he can't hit airborne units, but we're gonna see. You know, just to be sure, Now, most fighters can't, so it's going to be interesting to test, but having a rage regen, if he could hit airborne units, would be pretty cool, because obviously he can kind of pop that first wave, no problem. And we do have Praetus inside this team as well, so boom, and boom, there we go. So we'll get him put down. Now, again, the problem is, man, like, we don't really have a slot for him, obviously, so... I know he can't hit them on his basic, but I'm curious about his ultimate if he can hit airborne. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, no, he can't. So he can't even hit airborne units. Just had to test it, right? That's tough. So, like, I'm happy that I got such a crazy unit in a crazy amount of summons, but at the same time... he's not really bringing too much value over replacement, right? Like, the ultimate damage is nice and all that sort of stuff, but, like, where do you slot him in this team that I'm using, for example, right? Like, you need a healer, so you can't take out Airless. You could bring in, like, a Constance or something instead, obviously. It doesn't have to be her. Valara is such a good damage dealer, right? Like, she's on par with Ingrid a lot of times, especially if you have her awakened. Praetus is obviously needed to be the Lord. Like, Diao Chan... really, you want to have Diao Chan here, if at all possible. We'll run both, so we'll take out Valara for this run. I didn't remember how much BP we're going against. 463, we're at 453, so it should be pretty similar. Going against kind of an interesting team here, so we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can get this figured out with the use of Kane, right? So we'll go ahead and place him in. Now, if you do have, like, a Draylin or something like that, she could probably help out a little bit as well. But yeah, certainly, like, his Rage Regen is just not doing him any favors, man. So we're going to go ahead and pop his ultimate as soon as we can here. Boom! There we go. So almost 600k. Like, 559k is pretty damn good. And then, obviously, this is the part that you don't see on, like, the defense when you're just testing it, because it's going to take them a while to get their next units out. Right, and it's going to take a while for them to defeat the enemies. So now on the second round, we do have an Ingrid out. We now have enough cost for our Diao as well. We have 2. That's 2, I think. 3, 4, and then we'll pop this, and there's 5. Boom. Cleared the second wave. I always find myself needing to count out loud the Ingrid stacks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there will be 5. We'll go ahead and place our Airless. There we go. We're wiping them quick. Like, usually... So, maybe I was wrong, because usually with Ingrid teams, you're not wiping people this quick, this early on. Generally, you would have to have, like, a little bit more setup. So, 1, 2, 3... 4, there's 5, and then we can also trigger Kane if needed, but we're going to take down that extra enemy pretty quickly anyways. So there's 1 more on the Ingrid hit, and we're on to the next round. Now, obviously, this BP is significantly lower than having my Valara in here, but again, usually you'd be getting your Ingrid out significantly later. So there's 2, 3, 4, and we'll trigger our Praetus button. There's 5. We get some pushback coming in as well. 1, 2... 3, 4. We'll go ahead and pop Kane. We do lose that round, unfortunately. We get some good damage there, and then Ingrid follows up as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. We'll pop Praetus as well, get some extra DPS. I miscounted, apparently, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that'll be 5. Boom. I think she's at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll pop Kane as well to help out a little bit, and we don't quite get it. Obviously, you know, my Ingrid could be stronger and all that sort of good stuff, so we get some extra damage there as well. I think she's good to pop now. There it is. So obviously it's kind of a bit of a trade-off because, like, these rounds are definitely going to be stronger with Valara. 100%, like, guaranteed, right? The thing is it'll take you a lot longer to get to these rounds if you're using Valara. So we'll just keep going here. It looks like we'll do fine. Some pushback. There's the big hit from Ingrid. I didn't have my button available, so we'll go ahead and pop Kane here as well. Should have probably popped him a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and pop the Praetus button. There it is. We're starting to lose a little bit more HP here, unfortunately. That's kind of my bad, though. We're on stage 8 now. Wave 8. I need to reset my Ingrid counters. So here she is. Should be on hit 5. Boom. 1. She got 1 hit. 2. 3. 4. We don't have it to pop right now. Oh, no. We miscounted. So there's 1. No, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We'll pop Praetus. Then we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't have it available quite yet. We'll go ahead and pop Kane as well. Boom. And we just lose that round, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, Kane, again, later round, like, his stacks have worn off. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 will pop. There we are. And Ingrid is dead because we didn't kill him quick enough. So, oh, I am so undecided on this because on the one hand, again, he's doing, like, really acceptable damage. You know, his pushbacks are nice. His cost regen is obviously really nice. But, like, having Valara in those later rounds is just so nice, right? And obviously I messed up a few times there with, like, the Ingrid counting and everything like that, so that could partly be me as well. A bit of a higher BP than me. What we'll do is we'll run this again, and we'll just slot in our Valara and just kind of play through that and see how it goes and how it compares, right? So we have the same team to work with. So I'll do it manually. That way, you know, it's as fair as possible. Obviously, there's a big BP difference, but all of the other heroes are the same. Valara just has significantly better base stats to scale off of, so it kind of is what it is, right? If we're worried about the BP difference, then maybe Kane just shouldn't suck as much when it comes to the base stats. So Valara, on the first round, she can do whatever she wants, right? Like, she doesn't need special boosts or anything. We'll get down our Diao, put her into inspo mode. Now, this is where the difference comes in, because on these first few rounds, really, Valara is able to handle them without an issue, right? And especially with the pushback and everything like that, and the Praetus button. I clicked the fucking Praetus button, and it didn't click for whatever reason. So that's a bit of a shame. Now, Valara does struggle a little bit more on some of these waves, but we'll go ahead and pop this. She has the pushback. We're going to pop the Praetus, give her more damage. Now we have Ingrid out there. So, like, really the time difference isn't even that insane, right? Like, we're kind of getting them out around the same time they are, and we don't even have a cost regen. So there's should be like 3 or something like that on Ingrid. There's her big smack. And unfortunately, nobody can reach those, I don't think. And I don't think my Praetus hammer isn't going to be enough to do it. So we're going to kind of get cucked here, unfortunately. Just lose. But then this team scales significantly better, obviously. So 1, I think she's like, there it is. Yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We'll get down our airless as well. Boom. Clear it out quick, right? And you can see that pushback from the Valara came in clutch as well, because, like, obviously she gets this range as her pushback, and she also can, like, chain outside of her basic attack range, so she can do a shit ton of damage, right? Something like that. We get the pushback, and then we get the big Ingrid smack as well. I think that's like 3 or 4, so that's maybe 4. There it is. Boom. We get the big hits from both of them. And unfortunately, we don't quite take them out fast enough, but we still win the round, so we'll take it, we'll take it. Now we can get Praetus down. You can put Praetus really either place. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, pop the Praetus button. 5, we clap them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Boom. We don't need to pop Valara quite yet, I don't think. We'll be perfectly fine. So that's 2, I think. 3, 4, and I don't think I got it, but we'll see, we'll see. They do beat us on round 7, unfortunately. That's okay. Lost a lot of HP there. We will pop Valara. So then, like that. Get that pushback, get them out of here. Start doing way bigger damage with Valara as well. And then boom, there's the Ingrid. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. No, I miscounted again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, obviously, I understand that this is a lot of, like, Valara and Ingrid action for a Kane showcase, but I want to show the value over replacement that he may offer, right? So, something to consider there. Okay, we got the Valara pop. We're going to pop her again. We're going to pop Praetus so we can get some extra damage. We just had Ingrid go, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. Nice. 2, I think. 3, 4, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to miss the Praetus button. 5. 1, 2. This is going to be the end of them anyways. So we'll pop our Praetus button. There it is. So we do actually win the fight. We win the fight with Valara. Kind of not really that shocking in all honesty, right? And I'll show you like the damages and stuff like that too. So if we look here, come on. Well, I'm looking in the wrong spot, so it'd help if I looked in the right spot, I guess. But there you go. Like Valara is doing very comparable damage to Ingrid, right? Like 95 million versus 102. Just saying, right? I didn't show you the Kane damage, but we'll go ahead and buy some more permits here. Now, what we'll try is another team composition. So we'll take out Diao-Chan, right? We'll take out Diao. We'll bring in our Kane, right? Because there's another potential way that we could run this. So I'm kind of just thinking of like other options that we'll have available. Obviously, Diao-Chan being here is a pretty big part of the team. So it's kind of like, you know, what are we doing? We'll place down our Kane first, probably here, right? Something like this. We'll wait for him to rage regen enough to get his ult off, and then we'll pop his ult as soon as he can. Ooh, okay, so the higher... Really? He doesn't even attack enemies that are literally right next to him. Oh, God. Okay. That is rough, ladies and gentlemen. That is rough. So Valara and Kane should be able to handle this on their own. The pushback kind of comes in a bit clutch there. We take him out with Valara. Now we can get our Ingrid out, like, before round 3. So there is some potential here, obviously. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th, boom. You can see that Diao-Chan, the Diao-Chan difference there is pretty crazy, right? Like, it's pretty crazy indeed. We'll pop him now that everybody's in range. We do take them all out. Round tied. Oh. Oh. I completely lost count with my Ingrid. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, God. Oh, God. His pushbacks are coming in at, like, the worst times. They're single target. We'll pop our Valara now. We'll get her big hit with the pushback. Did not have my Ingrid available, unfortunately. And you can see We're kind of getting shredded by the enemy Valara and Ingrid. Shocking, I know, right? Realistically, I should have probably had my Valara on the bottom, so if we lose this, we'll go back and try it again. And that should be our Ingrid. There it is. So what is nice about him, though, is obviously he can offer, like, a little bit of block. Because sometimes you'll have, like, the enemies that come through and just, you know, get past your Valara or whatnot. So that is kind of a nice part of his kit. Ingrid should come in with her big smack right away. I'm not counting either, because I don't really have a whole lot of faith in this team, if I'm being completely honest. Like, you can see we're down to, like, 40 health. And they're at 92, and we're pretty similar on BPs. Go ahead and do this. Our Valara is going to come in with the pushback and some big damage. We're going to pop our Praetus. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pop our Ingrid, or our Praetus button rather. Now we're going to pop Kane. Get some extra damage. Ah. Okay. If Valara was on the bottom, we would have won that round a lot quicker, I will say. So that, and we do actually win the fight. Okay. Okay. Nice. So, not bad results, honestly, considering that they had a Diao-chan and we didn't. I mean, that is a very strong BP player, too. That's a 557,000 BP. Like, that's up there, man. Like, at the highest levels, you're facing, what, like 600k? 700k? Something like that. So it's still a pretty good. Let's look at AoE DPS. I don't think this updated yet, so we probably won't see it yet. Yeah, he's not in here at all. But if we look at, like, the leaderboard, even the guys at, like, the lowest part of the leaderboard, I really don't see anyone using Kane. Like, he's just such an interesting fella. Now, tell you what. So, if his faction membership was... if his faction membership was Arbiter and Watchguard, that would be a different story, man. Because then you could run a team like this, right? You could run a team with Valara, and then you could run a team with him. And you don't need Praetus in here, and that would be so much better. But he's not, unfortunately. My battery's low on my headset, apparently. I was charging it for like 2 hours before I started this video, but my headset is a thirsty boy, I guess, so it needs more battery. Let's go ahead and try this. We're going to try the same team instead of Diao, and then we're just going to place him on the top instead of the bottom. So it should still work. It should still work. I just think it'll work significantly better. Let's try it out, though. Let's try it out. Obviously, if you had, like, Invigoration set and stuff like that on your healer, which I do, Airless has Invigoration. He's significantly stronger, so we'll get him down. He has very good initial rage. We get some extra rage. We're going to go ahead and pop our ult. And we do manage to win that round. Very nice. Against an enemy Valara. So he's got, you know, comparable skills there. And then we'll go ahead and pop this, because our Valara is obviously doing her thing. We should have rage coming in from him right away, so there it is. Now we can get our Ingrid out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't have the... Oh, we just had the Praetus button available. I don't think I got it off in time. There it is. Look at that. Valara is so good. We get Airless coming in now. Her Invig actually went on to Ingrid as well, which is perfect. We'll pop our Ingrid. Boom. I'll tell you what, this team, like, are we seeing the fall of Diao-chan inside the arena? Is that what's happening here? This is a significantly lower BP team than the last one, too. So, you know, we can't get too excited, I suppose. But, like, we have everybody out by the end of Wave 4 with some very expensive units. Like, Ingrid is 25. Can I? There we go. Ingrid's 25. Praetus is 20, right? Like, these aren't cheap units. We will not pop anything here, so 2, 3, and then 4, and then this should be the big slam. Boom, there it is, mopping up pretty easily. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, pop that, pop Valara. Oh, we had some leak, no. I think we'll still be able to get this, though, with the Praetus button. We'll just have to save the Praetus button. That's completely my bad. I mistimed the ultimates there. Completely my bad. Nothing to do with Kane. Nothing to do with Valara, Ingrid, nothing. Completely my bad. We'll pop the Praetus button. Hopefully that's enough to take him down. It is. Perfect. We may still win this. We may still win this. Valara comes in with her pushback. Go, no leakage, nice. We'll pop our Valara here for some extra pushback. There's a big hit from Ingrid. Here we go, this is the last bunch. We'll pop Kane to finish them off. There it is, not bad, not bad. And you can see, we're kind of facing, like, the meta team. And as you can also see, I am not optimizing my placements whatsoever on the Praetus button as well. I don't know if you've seen that, but I popped it right after Ingrid went in with her smack. So we have the smack there. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We're going to pop Valara here. There we go. And then for his range, it's okay. But we do have to wait until they're a little bit, like, in for us to hit them. We do get out-slammed by the enemy Ingrid there, which is a bit of a shame. I mistimed my pop, but Ingrid's still going to get some big damage off. We're going to pop Praetus. Maybe not, apparently. We're going to do a big slam with Kane. We really just need some extra damage at the moment. I completely mistimed my Praetus button again, so, you know, again, my bad. We're going to pop our Valara. There it is. Big pushbacks. Hell yes. Perfectly timed. There it is. Okay. So that team doesn't work too bad, right? Like, we do bleed them out, too. It's not like we just won by HP. We actually were able to fully defeat them, which is pretty cool. Again, last time we were facing, like, a 500k, 550k. This time we're facing, like a 450k, and we're just outside Overlord, too, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and keep facing some teams. I'm going to refresh here. I want to keep the battles around, like, you know, 500k. An A5 Ingrid is pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. Nastia? Really? She's an esotericist. With, I guess you have Nerja, right? But that's an interesting team. 570 BP, though, from Peru. Let's see what this fella has to offer. So we'll bring in our Kane again. We'll do essentially the same team again, right? 500k versus 570k. This is going to be, like, for all the marbles, and I'll try my best to, like, time the Ingrids and stuff like that here. This is a 43-minute video, by the way, so if you've gotten this far into this 43-minute video breaking down Kane, definitely go ahead and hit that like button. I think we've earned it by now, right? Go ahead and hit that like button, as well as maybe even subscribe to the channel. There's a Discord down below that you can hop into as well. There we go. We'll go ahead and pop him. We'll get Valara down immediately. Not enough damage to take them down, though, so we are going to be depending on the Praetus button to mop up, which, oh, that was close if it actually mopped up or not. And he does take a little bit of damage as well, unfortunately. Now we just have to wait here. Valara's going to have her pushback, which is awesome. We have Ingrid out now, which is huge. So we're going to get 1, 2... I should have probably popped Valara with this BP difference, I'm not going to lie, but we do get it. 1, 3. There's 5. Okay, okay. Here we go. Here we go. So we got 1, and then we're going to pop her again, and then we're going to go this. Boom. Right over there. Do some surplus damage. Not quite enough to take him out, unfortunately, so we do lose this round. We're losing a little bit against the 570k BP here. Let's see what we got in store. So I have no idea what Ingrid's at. There we go. That's what she's at. So we got 1, 2, 3. We're going to pop now because I'll have another Praetus button available right away. There is 5, and then Praetus button to finish off. There we go. That's what we needed. We needed that BP coming through, or not the BP, rather, some of the damage coming through. Valara. Oh, this is big. We're getting huge damage here, ladies and gentlemen. We may just be able to get into Overlord, which would be pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll also maybe pop Kane if we need it. Yes, we do. Oh, baby. Okay, we got the Praetus button to delete that final unit, so that's fine. There it is. A bit of a leak. Again, I'm not used to fighting against like 570k BP, so this is more so on me, not really the heroes. 1, 2, 5. So there we go. We got some big damage from Ingrid and Valara. We're going to pop Kane, get some AoE. Ah, we're going to have some leaks, though. In fairness, I don't think we would have won this with Valara and Diao-Chan anyways. I mean, it is possible. It is possible. I could definitely run it. I could definitely run it and see, but... I don't really think I want to run it again, to be honest. So... 45 minutes of talking down about Kane. We're gonna give him some ratings, right? Just to be 100% fair. So let's go next. Again, this was a 570k BP player, so a very, very strong player as well. A bit of an interesting team composition. Definitely didn't expect to get beaten by that, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to fighters. We're gonna go to arbiters, and we're gonna go to Kane. Let's give him a rating. So Arena AoE, I think he has use, but you're really going to struggle to find a way to slot him into your teams where he genuinely is a value over replacement. Now, if you're using a Watcher team, well, so here's the thing, though, too, is it kind of has to be an Esotericist or an Arbiter team. Sorry, Northerner or Arbiter team. If he was an Esotericist, it'd probably even be viable. But it has to be Arbiter or it has to be Northern, because if it's not, he's only generating 7 cost, which means he's not even offsetting himself when he's awakened. And we already have such strong Arbiter teams that it's hard to really argue, hey, you should bring Kane instead of Valara. Right? Or Diao-Chan, right? Like, such great options there. I think I'm going to give him a 4. I think he's very viable. But I don't really... like, he's a... I say this all the time. He's a problem... he's a solution in search of a problem, right? Like, he's solving a problem that most players didn't have. Now, don't get me wrong. If you do not have Valara, he could be your key to breaking through to Overlord, right? Like, if you don't have Valara, this guy is going to be fantastic. This guy's going to be fucking awesome. This guy's going to be like a 10 out of 5, right? Like, he's going to be insane if you don't have Valara. But for those of you who do have Valara, and certainly if you have her awakened, I struggle to see where you're going to be using Kane, to be honest. Gold Raid, he's going to be a 5. Same thing with, you know, probably Void Rift. Same thing, realistically, with Malrix. Because he is good. He does good damage. He does pushback. He has cost regen, everything, right? Single target DPS, I didn't test him there. I think he's going to really come down to a 4 again, right? Very good damage, though, if you need it, right? Artifact material, a 4 as well. This guy, Gear Raid 1, not like... So, again, it's kind of the issue where it's like, yes, he does AoE damage, right? Like... But, like, come on, man. It's a single target, like a single line in front of him. it's not really going to be useful for Gear Raid 1. It's like the same reason why you don't really see people using Ardea or Valkyra inside Gear Raid 1 is because you just need genuine AoE, right? So, nah, fam. He's going to be like a 4, honestly a 3, right? Like, a 3, let's be honest. Faction Trial, absolutely a 5. Gear Dungeon 1, probably a 5, to be honest. When you have Power of Dominance enabled, you can use Praetus teams pretty effectively, and having somebody who can tank, push back, and do damage, that's pretty solid, as well as cost regen. Tide is going to be honestly a 2. This guy has such low base stats that like his BP does not scale very well at all. Tower of Deception, probably a 4. Immortal Codex, where could you use him? Well, you could use him in the fighter stage. I forgot the name of it. You don't really need cost regen anywhere inside Immortal Codex, so I don't think he brings enough damage to really be that crazy. Guild War, there's far better options. He's not. Titanic Runes, a 3. Like there's a lot of areas this guy could be good though for Gear Dungeon 2. I'm making a Gear Dungeon 2 video right after this, which you'll see towards the end of the month. I finally managed to beat stage 10. He could be very good for Gear Dungeon 2 with his pushback effects, right? So that's something to consider. Gear Raid 2, probably like a 4, right? Drake's Chasm, probably like a 3. Arena, Anti-Air is a 1. Gear Raid 3, also a 1. Those are the ratings, right? Nothing too crazy. Okay for Arena, mid everywhere else is what I'm going to put. That's my review. If you want to help me out, make sure to go and like my review as well so I can work towards the achievement. And yes, I did like my own review. You saw that correctly. But 51 minutes into the video. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe and hop into the Discord. Like I mentioned, let me know if I'm completely wrong and you're using Kane somewhere else. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.